Okay, the first thing I need to do is set up an event payload to simulate data coming out from an actual Tines story. Now that I have the payload I want, I need to set up an HTTP request action to post the data to a Discord webhook URL. But first, since I am sending data through a Discord webhook URL, I need to abide by the rate limits. You can easily do that in Tines with an event transform action set with throttle mode. Now I need to set up the HTTP request action. For the URL, I need to supply the Discord webhook URL. To do that, you need to have access to manage Discord webhook URLs for the channel you want to send to. Here in my Discord, I'm already in the settings for my Discord server under apps and integrations. Here you can set up the webhook URLs, which I've already set up one for testing. I've changed the name to Tines Tester, as well as changed the default profile image. I've also changed the channel I want to send the payloads to the serial log channel. Once I have everything set up for the webhook, I just need to copy the webhook URL, go back to the Tines story, go to the HTTP request action, and paste that URL into the URL. For the content type, I'm going to leave it as JSON, as that is the content I'm dealing with. And for the method, I'm going to leave it as post, as that's what I'm doing, is posting a message to the Discord webhook URL. For the payload body, there's one main thing we need to pay attention to, and that is the formatting that Discord requires. To see what that is, we can open up the Discord developer document resource and look for the webhook section. Scrolling down to the JSON form parameters, you can see the documentation for the required parameters. The main ones that I'm interested in looking at right now is looking at the required fields. You can see over here that the required field is one of content file embeds or pull. You can see those that are listed under the fields here. So that means that each payload going to a Discord webhook URL is required to have at least one of those fields. As we are not sending a file, an embed, or a pull to Discord, we can just use the content field. The description for the content field shows that it is for the message contents up to 2,000 total characters. For our purposes, we will be well under the 2,000 characters, so we don't need to worry about that. But what we do need to pay attention to is that we do need to put all of the message contents into this content field. With this in mind, we go back to the Tines story, the HTTP request action, and the payload builder, we need to set a content field. Now that I sent the content field, I need to supply the Tines payload that I want. The Tines payload I have is in my event transform action. So to be able to get to that action, I need to link all three actions together. I'm also going to rename the three actions right now so that I can tell them apart. The event transform with my payload, I'm going to set as my message payload. The event transform with the throttle, I'm going to rename throttle. And the HTTP request action, I'm going to rename something relevant. So now in the payload builder for the HTTP request action, I'm going to change the value here in the content field to reference the value from the message payload. The value from the message payload should be the message payload, which is the name of the action, .key of the action that I want. We can double check this by going back to the event transform and looking. So the message key is what I want, which has the message that I am looking for. So now that it is set, I can run the story and get my output to Discord. After running the story, you can see that each action successfully executed. We can look up the events viewer too. Looking at the HTTP request action results, this is the results that the Discord webhook URL returned. The default for a success is going to be a status code in the 200s, and it's going to have a null body. Now we can go back to Discord to see what the message was. So here in the serial log channel, we can see that there is a new message from our webhook URL that we set up in Discord. The message that was received was the message that we were expecting. And this is how you can easily and quickly get your data from Tines into Discord. If you're interested in creating more projects and wanting to learn how to automate more cool things in Tines, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other posts.